Alright guys, welcome to this career mode flight. Thanks for watching. For those of you who are back for another video, if you're watching for the first time, leave a like and subscribe. And let's get right into this 737 full flight career mode. I don't know how we're expected to taxi out of here without crashing into others, but hopefully it doesn't kick us out of the gate. So, alright, 0 fuel weight, that's fine. Reserve fuel. I always put 0 because I don't know what to put in there. Alright, and cost index, go right down the middle with a nice little 50. We'll execute it. Let's go to our N1 limit, set the outside air temperature. A little reduced N1, takeoff. I'm going to set flaps 5 for takeoff here. And we'll get the center of gravity in. Trim 4.25, set our V speeds 130, rotating at 130, and trim 4.25. So we're going to go ahead and set that. Right now we're a little bit high. That's 5, that's 4, that's about 4.25 right there. And let's get the briefing done before anything, guys. So we are going from Augusta to Charlotte. We are departing on the Dover 5 departure. Dover 5. So let's look at what the Dover 5 departure is, just so we brief it. I'm not even sure what runway they're gonna get. Let's get our clearance first, and then we'll know what runway we're gonna be getting. So, all right, acknowledging that taxi clearance. So runway 17 on departure. All right. So Beans, Sardi, and Dover. That's weird though, because we're heading north and they're giving us a south departure. That's a little bit annoying. Let me just put my range out here. Yeah, look at that. That's crazy. Look at that. They're making us go all the way to Dover. We're probably not gonna do that, guys. We're gonna turn towards our other waypoint earlier, and if they get mad at us, then so be it. But I don't want to head 50 miles south to come all the way back north. Okay, so before taxi, we're gonna set flaps 5, 1, 2, 5, and auto brakes already set to rejected takeoff. Let's get our autopilot ready. So we're gonna hold about 220 knots after takeoff. I'm gonna turn my flight director on. That's already on. I'm gonna set this to runway heading. So we're departing runway 17. So we know that we've got a heading about 170 on departure. I'm gonna turn that off. Turn vertical speed, hold on, and get a nice little vertical speed after departure. I prefer to use vertical speed than VNAV because VNAV doesn't work very well on this game. Let me just see what altitude they cleared us to. So runway 17 via Bravo and Alpha. So we go to the airport ground chart and we kind of understand where they're sending us. So they're sending us all the way up here, runway 17. And that's via Bravo and Alpha. So here we have taxiway Bravo and Alpha. So pretty simple, Bravo, Alpha, and all the way to runway 17. And now we just have to see where we're parked. So we go back to over here. I think, is it aircraft or? No, that's the wrong. That's flight planner. And just go to your map. And shoot. It's not letting me zoom in and out. What about if I do it here? Yeah, there we go. Now I could zoom. Alright, so we're all the way down here. So we know we have to taxi down here, go up, then take Bravo and Alpha all the way to runway 17. So, not too bad. Unfortunately, our wing is going to be clipping these airplanes. So ignore it, hopefully. Yeah, alright. Cool. I mean, there's no way to taxi out of there without hitting the planes. If you're flying career mode, guys, remember you can't taxi over 25 knots. If you do, you're gonna get dinged for taxiing too fast. That happens to me a lot. I just told you guys that, and it might happen to me again. So keep an eye on your ground speed while you're taxiing. Where the heck is my ground speed? Oh, there it is. Alright. Yeah, so we're fine right now. You just don't want to pass 25, 24, 25. GPT could give you something way better. So, I don't know. I think Asobo just need to hire some of the chat GPT people or just pay ChatGPT to do your AI tower or something. They don't even vector you well in this game. Alright, done ranting. So going ahead to taxi to runway 17. We're bringing some lovely people today from Augusta Airport to Charlotte, North Carolina. Oh shit, I'm going too fast. Okay, no! Oh. And that's what happens when you lose focus. And I had just said it 2 minutes ago. Well, now you guys have the proof. Alright, so altimeter 3006, cleared for takeoff. Let's set the altimeter. Alright guys, so the plan after takeoff, we're taking off runway 17. We won't do too much, we're just going to head right towards Beans. We might go to Sardi, not too far, and then we're just going to go ahead and turn around and head back to the north towards Charlotte, because I don't want to prolong that southern track too much. We're just going to make the flight longer than it has to be. Alright. So, gonna line up here, runway 17 in Augusta. We got our first officer there, just chilling. Alright. So, flaps are set, flight director's set. I'm gonna go ahead and arm my auto throttle. Had a binding for it, but I doubt that it works right now. And binding doesn't work. Alright. Cool. So, there we go. Taking off. We're going to head direct to Beans and Sardi, and then make that left turn. Let's do it. Alright. Takeoff thrust set. We're rotating at 130 knots here. 70 knots, 80 knots. That's 100. 110, 120. And rotate. Alright, trim up a little bit, positive rate, gear up. Alright, and starting my left turn. Oh, I don't want that. Alright, left turn towards Beans here. There we go. Alright, told us to connect center. Gonna keep my trim up here just a little bit. Gonna answer that. And let's turn on, oh god, come on game, LNAV. Vertical speed and autopilot on. Alright. Alright, so everything is set now. We've got LNAV on, speed hold, vertical speed, climbing at 2,500 feet per minute. We're going to set our flaps up now as we are gaining speed, and let's contact center on 128.1. Alright, 11,000 is our cruising altitude. There we go. Alright, told us to continue to Beans. Gonna put my speed up to 240 here as we're climbing. And pretty generic takeoff, the guys out of Augusta here. Now, as I said, I don't want to go all the way to Dover. I feel like that's too far, so we're just gonna go ahead and reach Beans, and then once we're at Beans, I think I'm gonna just start heading north. Hopefully the game doesn't get too mad at us. Alright, and now we're gonna start flying ourselves north, and hopefully the game doesn't get too angry with us. So we should be making a left turn. I don't know why I was banking right there. Alright, there we go. Left turn. and Jacksonville Center, and we'll contact them.
Jacksonville Center, Swag Sierra Charlie Alpha 5.
And what we're gonna do here is go to our legs page, and we're gonna go ahead and delete vectors. We're gonna delete Dover, and we're gonna delete Sardi, and we're gonna go direct to Wanswa and execute that. Boom, and turn LNAV on. And we were passing 10,000 feet, so I could go ahead and speed the plane up to 3006. We got to set that back up. 3006 on the altimeter. And we are heading to Wansa right now. So this is our arrival. We're on the Jules 1 arrival with the Wansa transition. So Wansa, then Jenny at 11,000 feet. Then we're going to Hartwall, Zealy, Jules, and then from Jules we either head for the landing on runways 36 or runways 18. So right now, what is our plan for landing? Let's go see what runway we had set up. I forgot it. We're gonna go to the departure arrival page, and again, and go ahead to the arrival. So we chose ILS runway 36 center. Hopefully that stays the case. So that means that we are going to be going this way, heading 070 after we get to Keg at or above 4,000 feet. And then we've got the ILS runway 36 center that we have to fly. So let's go and brief the ILS approach now. This is going to be a nice little ILS approach tutorial. So we come here to our charts page and choose ILS or lock runway 36. The chart should already be there. So let's open up the ILS chart. Alright, first important thing here, we want to see the ILS frequency. That is 111.7. So we're going to go ahead and set that up down in our stack here. 111.7. Oops, that's an 8. 70, and make sure you set it active. So that is our ILS frequency set active. And then we just want to see what the ILS looks like. So we're on runway 36 center, so we're right in the middle here. And it looks like at Solman, right here, Solman, we want to be at or above 8,000, at or above 7,000, then 6,000, 5,000. So they're just kind of bringing us down here in for the ILS approach. So let's go ahead and see which waypoints that we are going to be expecting. Go to the legs page here. So I think Solman will probably be there. Runway 36, Glassy, Chapter. Okay, so all we have is Keg. Then we have vectors from Keg to Marjo. So where is Marjo? There it is, Marjo. So we're going to be at about 4,000 feet at Marjo. Alright, cool. So right towards Marjo. We already have that set in at 4,000 or above at Marjo. And so that's pretty much it. So we have our ILS approach briefed. We are coming in for ILS 36 center. We already looked at our arrival chart here, but I'll go through it one last time. So we are coming here, Mansa, this way, and then once you reach Keg, we're going to be flying heading 070 until we probably intercept our localizer at Marjo. And then from Marjo, we're going to be intercepting localizer glide slope and coming in and hopefully making a nice landing here in Charlotte. So stay tuned for that. But yeah, right at that altitude, it's giving us some turbulence here. Going to turn on the fasten seatbelt sign. People won't get hurt. Tell them to get into their seat here. We're going to be going through another little cloud. And here we go, right through the clouds.
Altitude, expect ILS runway 36 center approach via S-Wellerman transition. Clear to S-Wellerman.
Alright, so we're going to acknowledge the assigned approach here.
Maintain present heading and
So they gave us the ILS 36 center via Solomon transition.
Swag Sierra Charlie Alpha.
So we have to go ahead and set that now because we didn't have the Solomon transition set, but we are going to set it now. Solomon transition, and we are going to execute it. And they said we're cleared to Solomon, so we're going to go ahead and head direct to Solomon now. There we go, and execute. So we know we want to be at about 8,000 feet at Solomon. We're going to try to respect that, but we need the ATC to give us our clearance. Looks like we cleared the bad weather there. All the clouds are behind us. We got clear weather into Charlotte. So there we go. We got clear the ILS via the Solomon. So initially we're going to go ahead and go direct to Marjo, but ATC cleared us via the Solomon transition, and that's what we set up here. So hopefully getting a descent clearance soon. I don't feel like being too high for that ILS approach. All right, information in Charlotte. Airport elevation 700 feet. All right, so we got 711, and then if we go to the ILS chart, it says for the Cat 1 ILS 910, so that's 200 feet above the ground. So we're going to go ahead and set 200 feet in our minimums here. Going to put it to 200. There we go, 200 feet set in the minimums, and we're getting
Charlie Alpha 5711. Descend and maintain 8,000 feet.
all right, clear to 8,000 feet now. So this is where the they're gonna make us descend via that
Descend and maintain
via the star.
Sierra Charlie Alpha 5711.
So we're gonna get slowing down, get vertical speed on, and start descending here. Contact them. We're gonna go ahead and get some speed brakes now to slow us down here, and now we can set flaps to 5. Oh my god, are you kidding me? I was right at 250. That was not excessive. You can go F yourself. Alright, gonna go ahead and arm the spoilers here, and we're gonna set localizer hold on now for localizer intercept.
Swag Sierra Charlie Alpha 5711. Charlotte approach. Altimeter 3009er. Radar contact.
Alright, 30009er, and continue to Solomon. And it looks like we've intercepted the localizer, so that's perfect. Localizer intercepted, and we're probably going to get
5711. Descend and maintain 7,400 feet.
alright, down to 7,400 for some reason. Acknowledging.
Maintain 7,400 feet. Swag Sierra Charlie Alpha 5711.
And slowing down at about 200 knots here. We got cleared at 7,400. I would use VNAV here, but again, I don't really like VNAV on this game. Doesn't work well. Alright, so I could set flaps 10. Flaps 10 set. And descending 7,400 now for some reason.
Swag Sierra Charlie Alpha 5711. Descend and maintain 6,300 feet.
Alright, 6,300. Oops, I clicked a button I shouldn't have. And continuing our descent here, acknowledging instruction.
Descend and maintain 6,300 feet. Swag Sierra Charlie Alpha 5711.
Alright, so we've got glide slope here, so we're going to wait till we get under the glide slope. So I'm going to go ahead and descend nice and fast and start slowing down. So this is a little hectic type of approach here, guys. Everything's happening quickly. So feel free to pause the video and move back as I'm kind of going through the ILS steps here. But now I'm just trying to descend to my glide slope. Unfortunately, we're just above the glide slope, but we're trying to catch up to it.
Sierra Charlie Alpha 5711. Descend and maintain 5,300 feet.
Alright, 5,300 and descending. And acknowledge.
Descend and maintain 5,300 feet. Swag Sierra Charlie Alpha 5711.
Alright, and slowing down even more now. They should just clear us via the ILS approach. I don't understand why they don't. I'm going to go ahead and turn approach hold on and just trying to intercept the glide slope here. Oh my gosh, we're so close. I just need that glide slope intercept. There we go. Alright, glide slope is intercepted. So now we should be descending via the glide slope, and we can disregard whatever the ATC is going to be telling us here. We're just going to descend via glide slope now. So we've got glide slope and localizer intercepted.
Charlie Alpha 5711. Contact Charlotte Tower on 126.4 when inbound on the approach.
Alright, so acknowledge the approach clearance here.
126.4. Swag Sierra Charlie Alpha 5711.
Alright, so let's contact Charlotte Tower now as we are fully established. We're going to go ahead and set flaps down to 25, and right before we contact Charlotte, we're going to go ahead and say that we want our approach to be 30 and 136 on the flaps. Let's contact Charlotte Tower here. Alright, Charlotte Tower.
Charlie Alpha 5711. 1 tree mile south. Inbound ILS runway tree 6 center approach.
Alright, let's see, go around, we're straight out to Tommy,
Swag
perfect.
Sierra Charlie Alpha 5711. Charlotte Tower. Altimeter tree 011. Cleared ILS runway tree 6 center approach.
3011, and acknowledge the pattern entry.
Cleared ILS runway tree 6 center approach. Swag Sierra Charlie Alpha 5711.
Alright guys, so we got cleared for everything. We are fully established. Localizer, glide slope. We set our autopilot, so everything's set now. Go around procedure. We are climbing out towards Tommy and climbing to 3,000. So we're going to go ahead and set 3,000 here in the altitude for the go around if ever we need to go around. And the last thing I want to check is the airport ground chart so that we can plan for our braking. So I'm going to go ahead and try to pull this down. There we go. Open the ground chart here in Charlotte. And hopefully I can zoom in here. Alright, so runway 36 center. We've got the ramp right over here. So I think we just need quite medium braking here. So we're going to go ahead and set brakes, auto brakes to 2. Alright, 2500. We are going to put the gear down here. Just going to get rid of this here. Alright, gear down at 2500. Gear's coming down. Alright, and let's get ready for the landing. Get my feet on the rudder pedals. So our reference for landing, flaps 30 and 136. We're going to hold 160 here as we get a little bit closer. Alright, so go around is normal. We're going straight out, climbing 3,000 towards Tommy, and we've got a holding pattern at Tommy, but we're going to try to not go around.
Alpha 5711. Wind 028 at 10. Clear to land runway tree 6 center.
Alright, clear to land 36 center. We copy the winds.
Clear to land runway tree 6 center. Swag Sierra Charlie Alpha 5711.
Alright, so yeah, we have a nice little headwind and a kind of right to the left crosswind, so our nose is going to be pointing to the right. We might have to give a little bit of left rudder on landing, but we should be good for a pretty straight on landing. Alright, so the plane's having a little bit of trouble maintaining that glide slope here. It's because of the winds. So let's get slowed down to about 150. We got runway in sight. And the plane is just trying to hold. So we're going to get set flaps 30 here for landing, 1,000 feet. And I'm going to go ahead and turn the auto throttle off here, and I'm going to be controlling the speed. Alright, so I've got the speed, and keeping an eye on the runway here. Alright, autopilot's off, I've got control. Alright, gonna keep an eye on glide slope here, making sure we're maintaining that glide slope a little bit high. Gonna correct lower, and I'm gonna pull the speed back. We're a little bit fast. Alright. Oh yeah, those winds are making it hard to maintain that glide slope here. Alright, a little bit low, a little bit high. Pappies, we got 2 white, 2 red. Alright, minimums and continuing. So our nose is pointing a little bit right, so we're going to have to give some left rudder here.
50, 40, 30, 20, 10.
And giving it left rudder here. We're floating a little bit, a little too much flare. Just holding it off here. And back center line, reverse thrust. And put the nose down nicely here. There we go. And reversers are green, slowing down. Alright, and reversers off. Tap the brakes, and we're going to go ahead and exit the runway to the right here.
Charlie Alpha 5711. Turn next taxiway.
Alright, welcome to Augusta, no, welcome to Charlotte. Alright, spoilers back down.
Sierra Charlie Alpha 5711. Contact ground on 1 tree, 0.075.
Do you guys see that error message I just got? Don't entering a taxiway without permission. He told me to exit next taxiway. Anyway. Alright, we're going to request taxi to the gates here.
Swag Sierra Charlie.
Alright, so our parking stand is right over there. Thanks for watching this video, guys. I think we need to go one more taxiway over. Oh gosh, wait, are we behind the building or next to the... Oh, no, I think we're right there. That's fine. Oh, you know what? It's not too bad. Okay, that's better than I thought. Yeah, aviator performance kind of went to shit, but the rest is not bad. Got some decent airline procedures, 100%. Could have been worse, yeah. Taxi speeding twice, flaps extended, radio communications. Who needs radio communications anyway? Alright, thanks for watching, guys. See you on the next one. Leave a like.